Good evening and welcome to the Thursday night show where tonight we are going to talk all about Manchester Derby. I have got a couple of people, well, few more than a couple coming on. 1 minute, I'm just doing hellos and bring you in. People are just coming in now. So, yeah, basically, tonight's the Manchester Derby. I am going to talk a little bit about the current situation because some of the things I've heard today are mind-boggling. I've heard the word crisis being used. I've heard the word quit for Pep to be used. I've seen polls of should Pep go, and there was a poll of 60% say no, and 39% said yes, Pep should leave. Jesus, can we all calm ourselves down just a little bit? There ain't no crisis. I'm not trying to do happy clap here. Listen, everyone is entitled to their opinion, but we are second in the league. We're in the next round of the Champions League. We're still in the FA Cup. Can we just calm down a touch? You know what I mean? I'm going to bring in some of the guests and then I'll say some hellos. Of course, we've got our very own Richard. Evening, mate. I think Rich is going to start doing some sign language for us in a minute because I can't hear a word he's saying. Nope, can't hear you now either. This might be sign along with Rich tonight. I really don't know where we're going with this one. I'm going to bring in Adam as well. If you don't know who Adam is, Adam does Twitter Spaces. I don't know what's going on, Rich. Maybe leave, have a look at your settings on your thing, and then come back in, mate. I don't know, but you can't hear you at the minute. Just going to bring in Adam as well. Adam does Manchester City Twitter Spaces on Twitter. Does them very good, actually. So, good evening, Adam. Can you hear me, mate?
Yes, I'm very well. How are you doing today?
Well, yeah. Listen, I'm nice and relaxed, mate. I don't know about everybody else.
You say me, I'm relaxed as well, but some people, I can't speak for them.
Everyone else has lost the shit, and I don't. Listen, I'm all up for giving criticism, but some of it he's gone way, way over the top. And it was like, I had one person on a stream earlier when I was on a stream. Someone typed in, I'm all right finishing second in the Premier League as long as we win the Champions League. Oh, well then, so your expectations are not high, are they then? So what you're saying is it's first or bleeding bust.
It's because during the space when I hosted it for the lineup, I said, listen, look, if we do end up potentially, say, getting beaten by Southampton, it's not the end of the world. Look, if Southampton beat us, Southampton were the better side. It wasn't our day, you know? Look, you win some, you lose some. Like, look, yeah, to be honest with you, every season I go into every season, yeah, the Carabao Cup is the least of my worries. It's a trophy that I don't prioritize. You know what? I prioritize the FA Cup, yeah, more than the Carabao Cup. A trophy. We won it so many times. You get bored. It's like, you know it is. I know this is a terrible analogy, but the Carabao Cup is like going back to your ex-girlfriend. That's how I see it is with the Carabao Cup.
Sorry, I'm just showing off the new shirt to everyone who's in the background. Hey! Sorry. Right, let me bring in Ozzy's here. Good evening, mate.
Evening. How's it going?
Better late than never.
Quiet.
I can have a go at Ozzy and Rich because they're part owners in this, so I can have a pop at them. Here he is. Another one of the owners who turned up late.
Is that working? Is it working now?
I can hear you now.
Oh.
And of course, the legend that is Beta Games TV. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we?
Hey guys. I'm good. I'm good. How are you guys?
Totally cool. Totally cool, me.
You're cool.
Cool as cucumber.
Okay.
There ain't no quit. There ain't no crisis. There ain't none of that crap going on this channel. I promise you. Anyone else wants to have a little crisis, let them go and have the little crisis.
Well, Chelsea might be having a bit of a crisis at the moment. They're 1-0 down to Fulham, so
that's a crisis. Jesus Christ. It worries me if we ever finish outside the top four. What'll happen? I tell you, you'll be able to get loads of tickets for away games and home games soon because everyone's quitting. Everyone's going supporting another team soon. It's like, see you then. Bye. Keep positive, Blue, says Alec Johnson. Absolutely no confidence going into the United game. United are far better with shit. Yeah, because United have beat absolute amazing teams lately, Jack. Charlton Athletic, Nottingham Forest. They all just them top 4 teams roll off the tongue there for United. City will win easy. Barry McGowan says, good evening, Blues. No point in this season. It's done. We have 39 points. It's your opinion, Jack. I don't agree with it. The blind positivity, it's not blind positivity. I could say you're doing blind negativity as well. You've given up the ghost. You've said 39 points. Forget it. Let's all go home. It's your opinion. We certainly haven't been playing. Negativity.
I can't believe the negativity, if I'm honest. I am really surprised with a lot of this negativity from a lot of City fans at the moment. I mean, I've been too busy with work to kind of notice what's been going on, but yeah, I mean, seriously.
It's going to get worse. It very, very well do, but what, we finished 4th? So what? I just, maybe it's me, I don't know. Enjoyed the last remaining nights of Manchester being controlled by the Blues. Oh, God.
I mean,
anyway,
I can already tell the type of show
controlled. Manchester's been controlled by Blues. Manchester's been blue for like 50 years. Manchester was blue when we were in Division 2. So, I mean, nonsense like that can bloody stop. Manchester is blue. Let's
go on, Rich. We're going to get a Rich rant.
You know, and you are going to get a bit of a Rich rant. I mean, some of the nonsense I've seen, you know, I've seen a bit of nonsense by over positivity saying, oh, we're playing great and everything. No, we've been playing pretty badly since October. But that's absolutely inevitable when we're trying to change a formation from playing without a striker to playing with a striker, and a striker who played in a team that played on the break with lots of space himself. So he's learning to play totally different football. City learning to play totally different football. Yes, we've got a few players who might be on the way out, and we've got a few players who are coming back to injury. But, you know, worst thing I've seen in the last few days is people writing off Calvin Phillips after one game when he's barely played for a year in the hardest position in the team when he's not fit. And he's written off because he's not as good as this. And, you know, we should have, you know,
there's going to be, just to warn you all now, there's going to be a lot of tongue-in-cheek coming out tonight because, as you can say, we're not a channel that's going to sit here and put crisis. Like I said, there was a poll earlier. 39% at Pep Guardiola should leave the football club if we end up trophyless this season.
Yeah, but
I've gone to a madness stage.
They're the, you know, that's just the Man United mentality. They're the same people.
Thank you, Rich.
It's framed up TalkSport demanding that Ferguson got sacked. I mean, that's what everyone forgets. Ferguson's talked about as the greatest manager to ever manage in the British game, and there were rags who would. Every time they lost a game, not just when they went trophyless for a while, but every time they lost a game or every time they had to change the team, there were United fans out there, probably mostly in Essex, and most of them a bit, you know, insecure and tying their personality in with success. And they demand he got fired. And I remember sitting in, you know, their lower league some of that time, just thinking, oh my, you know, how can people be that absolutely idiotic? But they are. Some people are so impatient, so insecure, so flighty that they just don't understand reality.
Listen,
you know what it is, Martin? Like, you know, I really want to ask those people the stupidity. Like, it's not per se stupidity. Look, you say you want Pep out. The argument that I could ask you, which manager would you take out there if you do get rid of him? Because I would love to know that. You say you want him out, but then who would you take? because arguably there's no other better manager in world football than him. So you might as well just, in a sense, keep your mouth shut. You can criticize, yes, but don't be overreacting and throwing your toys out the pram like a little baby.
Yeah, Aussie Rich, by the way, that's Adam who does Twitter Spaces with us every week.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right.
Listen, I am absolutely fine with criticism. All of us here are fine with criticism. That's fine. Everyone can be criticised. I think what's happened is, though, and I'm going to come to Ozzy and Rich at the beginning because they didn't speak on last night a lot. I do want to, and it's not, I don't want to go into last night of what was wrong and everything else. I want to go into the bigger picture before we go into the derby. The simple fact of the matter is there's criticism and then there's way going over the top. I've heard huge Manchester City accounts, huge podcasters, huge accounts say we are in a crisis. And I sit there and I think, these are all the same accounts and people who used to laugh at United when they were 6 and they were going, this is a crisis, can't believe it. And we all laughed. Each and every one of us all had a laugh and went, 6 is not a crisis. They wouldn't know what a crisis was if it hit them in the arse. And we're second. Scored the most goals in the league so far. Yes, we're conceding. Like I said, there are problems. It is not a crisis. I'm sorry. It's not a crisis. People have said, I'm going to give you a little bit of a fact now. Manchester City have played 17 games this season. We have won 12 of them. We have drawn 3 and lost 2. So out of 17, we've drawn or lost 5. Where is that the majority of the games we're drawing or losing? Where is that? Have I missed something? Have I been at games, fell asleep and missed some goals?
I think
12 out of 17. Where's this
Martin,
drawing and losing all the time?
Martin, I think what people sometimes are confusing is actually, there's been games we've won where we haven't been that convincing or that good. And some of the games we lost have been games we should have won, and people are focusing on that. So quite clearly, we won our Champions League group at a canter. We're second in the league, and we're only second in the league ultimately because Arsenal have had, I think, the 4th best start to the season in Premier League history. People are forgetting that only once, possibly twice, and one of those was the Centurion season, have City started better than Arsenal have this year. I think Chelsea did once in their 98-point season under Mourinho. They started better than this. And, I think there was one other. So this is, Arsenal have started exceptionally. They've got exceptional results. And, that is getting to people. I think the fact that a lot of the games this season have been a bit boring, we haven't been as exciting, but we're changing the way we play. Fundamentally, if you look at the starting 11 this year, even though, we signed 5-6 players in the summer, the starting 11 has changed, a fair bit, especially at the back. We've probably not been able to play the same defence, even centre-back partnership twice on the trot this season. A lot of that's been injury, not just Pep rotating. We've had Cancelo out of form, and Cancelo's role in the team is pretty important tactically. So when he's not playing, that means a total tactical reshuffle anyway. And then you chuck in on top of that playing a number 9, which has taken a body out of midfield and totally changed the way we played. And Haaland is having to totally change the way he plays. And the fact he scored, was it 27 and 22, whilst changing the way he plays is huge. And you don't reform or change or rebuild anything without, a bit of a step backwards. And I think people need to, I think it's just in life, too many people, believe that if there's a problem, you can just wave a magic wand and fix it and it's ready. But you don't fix, you see people a week after a general election saying, oh, we shouldn't have voted for them. They haven't fixed it all. Things take sometimes years to fix. To rebuild a football team is going to take a season. And the fact that we may well go and win the league, and I still think we will win the league in that season of fixing, you know, is something we should be bloody pleased with, not disappointed with. And, you know, as for last night, the people going on about last night, there'll be maybe one player started last night will start the derby. So that was absolutely Pep playing whoever he could play that he wasn't going to start on Saturday. We played players out of position. Why? Because ultimately Pep had written that game off and he was playing the players who aren't going to play Saturday and getting minutes into legs. And so Kyle Walker's not a centre-back, but he needs minutes in his legs. You know, Rodri is miles better than Calvin Phillips as an option at the moment until Phillips is built in, but Phillips needs legs. So, as I said before Christmas, we shouldn't, if it hadn't been Liverpool, we would have gone out the Carabao Cup on the 23rd of December. But because it was Liverpool, we went and played our first team and took it all seriously because of the Pep Klopp thing. And, you know, now we're living with the consequence of that is that we just have to lose in the next round. Because if we had to play Newcastle twice and we had to play United in the next 6-7 weeks, that would cost us the league, probably cost us the Champions League, and that would be stupid. Yeah, half the team was on, Jack. A few players were on, and they're not necessarily players in form, and they're players who need minutes in their legs. So, you know, that's not affecting Saturday if someone gets half an hour to keep them warmed up. I think we just need to calm down. And then the best player in the Southampton team is someone we've got an option to buy anyway. So great to see him playing well.
I heard that last night. We need to go and buy him immediately. Why did we let him go? Because he played one game for Manchester City and looked like a deer in headlights.
Because he wouldn't have got the chance to play the 20
Exactly.
Southampton.
Amazing. By the way, good evening to Alan. Thank you for joining us. Ozzy, before we bring in Vader, I know Vader's been very patient. I just want to grab Ozzy's opinion, mate, on because he wasn't here last night. Ozzy, your opinion on the game and the current meltdown that is currently going on.
Yeah, I've got to say, like, yeah, I saw last night's game, and I've got to admit, I was disappointed with the lack of effort and performance from the team. It was sad to see, really. I think, you know, you've all talked about the number of reasons why, you know, the team wasn't at it, and I totally agree with the points that have been made, not only last night, but with Rich making his fabulous rant there. And I just feel that, you know, it's everyone's right to have constructive criticism. Do you know what I mean? Because I think Pep made mistakes. Is in like I believe that some of the team that he put out wasn't the right team to put out, but I understood why he played some players and not others. I think some of the players, you know, it's been mentioned that Pep said that some of the attitudes aren't great right now, and that needs to be addressed by Pep and the players themselves. I think the elephant we keep forgetting as well is that, you know, this is, we've said it so many times, this is such an unusual season. We've just come on the back of a World Cup. Okay, a lot of those players, apart from Alvarez, have had a poor World Cup. You know, some of those players did not play up to their potential. Kevin De Bruyne was getting slagged left, right, and centre. Cancelo and the rest of the Portugal team weren't getting anywhere in that World Cup. And obviously you had the England as well, which, you know, they were getting told they could win the World Cup. And yeah, you have to think about how the mentality has affected a lot of the players after the World Cup, and they're just kind of trying to get back into gear. So for me, last night, yes, wasn't a good night, but I think we move on, and, you know, we look forward to the derby. This is not a crisis. This is not, oh my God, you know, things are wrong. We're in second place. You know, we're still in 3 competitions. You know, we're still looking good, and I still have faith that Pep and the rest of the team can do the job. You know, let's not hit the panic button. If we lose on Saturday, then questions can be asked. What's going on? What's the mentality? Why are certain players not living up to the way they should be playing? But like I said, you still have to remember, you know, it's an unusual season. We're playing every 3 days. Let's just give it.
There is an element of crisis, though. The crisis is that City fans are turning into everything we always hated. The crisis is that we have City fans turning on players after one game, turning on our own Mancunian kids who are coming into a team into a difficult role and they need to play. That is a crisis because that is City fans becoming Liverpool and United. And I would rather we're sitting 15th in this league and being ourselves and remaining City than just turning into a carbon copy. Otherwise, we're going to have this channel in 10 years and we're going to have some Newcastle fan on and we're going to be going, oh, you don't have any history. You're not like City with our history of 15 league titles. You got no history.
That's the worst accent ever on that.
Do you know, the one thing I would say, Rich, the one thing I would say is that because we are now the team and the club we are at, so we're playing at the highest levels, I wouldn't want to see us drop off too sharp because yes, I can see what the point you're making. Like, you're not bothered if we're in 15th. I'm sure Martin wouldn't be particularly bothered. Alan's a different story.
Well, the hell, if you saw the messages I was getting off Alan last night.
Well, yeah, I can only imagine. But what I'm saying is that I don't think I agree with some City fans that we can't just let this continue, as in well, I say continue, but we can't get to the state of where Chelsea are in, where they're throwing money up against the wall and it's not sticking, and that they're having a massive crisis. I wouldn't want us to see us get into that kind of position.
Yeah, but I think that's a different thing. Theirs is a change of ownership, a change of strategy, a change of manager, a change of everything. Ours is a change. Ours is simply Pep trying to work out how he can get the control with a number 9 that he gets with a false 9, and therefore how can we control the game and then start to actually really become an even better team than we were because we have someone who can score goals clinically, and that takes time. That all the players are having to play slightly differently. They're having to play differently on the pitch. We're having to fill different gaps, and that's what it's all about. And that's why we seem to be going back more to where we probably were back in about 2017-18 with the inverted fullback in defensive midfield role as opposed to the inverted fullback playing at number 10 like we have been the last year or two. But we could afford that inverted fullback at number 10 when we had an extra midfielder. Now we don't. Pep's trying to work that out. And we have got a few players out of form. And there could be 1,000 reasons why that is. They could be personal. They could be due to the World Cup, the level of the training at the World Cup. It could be due to the season is as it is. It could be because they're already looking at houses in Benidorm for their next club. We don't know.
But plus we had the most players at the World Cup, Rich, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think United did.
No, City did.
No, City did. No,
it came out. Apparently, it came out somewhere. United had the most players there.
No, we had, I think, 16. They had 15. They had the most in the knockout stage, I think. It was something like that. But at the start of the World Cup, City had the most. Now, that's the reality as well. I mean, was it, some of our players came back a bit podgy from the England because, when you're at a World Cup, the players are training totally differently. They're training tactically for matches because you're playing games every 3 days. They're not doing some of the work. They're not doing the rondos and everything else. So all of our players would have come back, in slightly strange shape. And some of them...
That's what I thought. So I thought, including loans, it was United. That's what I'd read, you say. But they might have not been at United. They might have had loans out in other places.
Yeah, that may be the case. But the players who were at the clubs, I know it was City, but yeah. But so everyone just needs to just calm down and be patient and realise that if we want to keep our dominance in football, we are going to have to change and we're going to have to learn and we're going to have to adapt.
This is the thing. Like Shola said, last time we were in a better form, we went out and beat them 2-0 forward. Alan, talk to me. I don't know if you know what's been going on because you've been in the air and everything else, but there's talk now of crisis. Pep should quit even. This season's an absolute waste of time now. The players are, the wrong team was picked last night, which makes me laugh when we've cried for Palmer and Calvin Phillips to start games, and now all of a sudden they shouldn't have picked them last night. So fans are choosing who, the flip-flopping about who they want now in starting 11s to suit agendas out. 1 minute they want Phillips to play, then they don't want him to play anymore, and Palmer shouldn't play. I just don't get it anymore.
Martin, first things first. I forgot about last night. It's gone. It's history. Move on. Right? And we have to forget.
Alan, no one else has. You've forgotten it. No one else has.
I had a rant yesterday. And
if Alan can forget it, anyone in the world should be able to.
Exactly.
First things first, Martin. We got knocked out of the League Cup. The winners of the League Cup get £100,000. Big deal, right? We're out. Done. Move on. Right. Listen.
I'm not doing that. Sean Fogarty, I love him, but he's put 9 or 12-0 to United.
But let's get this right. We need 1 point to escape relegation. We're on 39 points. So long as we beat the Scum 2-0 tomorrow and win both games home and away, as long as we stay up, I'm happy. I'm a proper City fan. But let's get it in perspective. There's no crisis. He picked the wrong side yesterday, right? We all know the reasons why he did that. We've all discussed it.
He did. Did he though? I'm sorry, but
he did. He picked.
What was wrong with it then?
Well, 3 at the back for starters. We haven't played well.
He played 3 at the back. Played 4.
He played 3 first half.
No, he didn't. He played 4.
What was it, Alan? I can make it, but Alan, I can make an. Sorry to cut you off, but I can make an argument that look, these players that Pep put here, compared to that team of Southampton here, these players were well capable of pulling their weight. But
they didn't pull the weight yesterday, did they? For a start, the attitude was incorrect. It was poor, right? And it's like Pep said, he's 100% correct. If you turn up just expecting to win and don't put the F in, you're going to lose against whoever.
This isn't the first time we've seen Southampton do this to City. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
We've seen them do it over the last couple of seasons. They're in poor form. They've been beat. I mean, when was it Hasenhüttl, the last manager, who was in charge? They lost 7-0, 8-0, something
Baby girl,
ridiculous.
Can you turn that down a bit?
And then they came and give us a bit of a spanking. Do you know what I mean? So when a team like Southampton, who's on their day can be very good, they're a well-drilled team. We didn't send some of our players there for no reason.
But like you said, Ozzy, like you said, the players weren't up for it. They weren't. They just weren't at the races.
But Southampton were. They had the initiative to get out there and take the game by the scruff of the neck and win it. And congratulations to them.
You know what bothers me this season, and is the inconsistency of some of the players. Right, we are not consistent at all. And the last time we were like this was the season we didn't win the league when Liverpool romped it. Right, we were totally inconsistent from game in, game out. That is my concern. That's what Pep's worried about. I'll tell you that now. Is the players from one game to the next are totally inconsistent, and that needs to be ironed out. And there's only one person can probably sort that out, and he's the best manager in the world. So let him get on with it. And another thing, we're not going to win the league every single year. We're not going to win the league every single year. It's impossible. These things happen, and it's up to Pep to try and sort it out now. And if he has to let people go in the summer that we all like the Bernardos of the world, let him do it. He's earned the power, he's earned the trust of the fans and the club. So just let him do it. Let's get this right now. If someone had said to me in 2007, I emigrated to Australia, City going to win the league 6 times in the period between now and then, I'd have laughed at them. I would have laughed at them, and everyone else would have laughed at them as well. We said no chance. But look, I went to the Etihad when Aguero scored that goal, and I sat down at the end of it, exhausted at the end of 90 minutes, and said to my dad, "I don't care what happens from now on. I've seen my team win the league, and that's all I ever wanted." So I think
as well, Alan, on the inconsistency of players, I think it's because there's been an inconsistency of tactics. Pep hasn't figured quite how to play a number 9 yet.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Haaland's got to improve as well, because at the moment, I'm not a huge fan of Haaland keeping the ball outside the box and linking play up. He's not 100% with that yet, in my opinion. He's brilliant at scoring goals. He's got to learn. He's got to learn. He's brilliant at scoring goals. He's brilliant at it, but he needs to improve that. And when he has his back to goal and he loses the ball, it gives the ball to the opposition. We all know what Pep's like if we lose the ball.
Yeah,
and
I
makes me laugh. Sorry, do you know what makes me laugh? We're sat here scared of United, of a team who've just signed.
I'm not.
No. It's not you. Calm down. Get back in your box, you in the corner. Calm down, you. I'm trying to. United have just signed Vegas, whatever you want to call him, the Burnley reject. You remember? And we're sat here scared of them. Have I lost my mind? Has something gone wrong in planet of the Earth? They're signing Vegas, and we're sitting here, excuse my French, shitting ourselves with them.
Martin, can you remind me of the last game we played against United, what the score was?
6-3.
Yeah, and why was it? Why did we concede those 3 goals?
Because we took a lot. We changed the team.
We're having a nap.
Yeah, we had a nap. We
nap for 10 minutes. Yeah.
There you go.
You've been very patient. I do thank you for your patience. Well,
no worries.
Go on. What is going on? You've seen comments. You've seen what's going on. What is going on?
Well, first, I want to ask Alan this. Alan, if City were guaranteed 5 league titles, but it meant you had to move to Australia, are you on that boat or plane?
Yeah.
All right. That's a fan. Thank you.
He's not allowed back in the country, so there's no chance, mate.
mate, if you
don't get turned around at customs,
mate,
you're welcome, mate. In you come with your passport.
I've emigrated in 2007 in June.
Oh God, if you hear this story,
we got the money. My father rang me up and said, "I bet you want to come home now, don't you?" And I've never seen it since 1971. So as you can imagine, I was distraught. But you see more games of football over here than you do back home in England, because it's
it's a sacrifice you made, and we're all
but mate,
of it.
I flew over from Guerrero moment. I was there. Don't you worry about it.
All right. Dealing with the comments and the meltdown, and maybe the stress of Saturday. It's all about recency, right? It's all about form. It's all about players following instructions or being at the level. Pep's done so much changing, whether it's at the back line, the midfield, even the front 3, where I know part of the fan base is they're crapping themselves because they're like, what is Pep going to do on Saturday? Not only that, how are the players going to play on Saturday? Because of just the inconsistency that we've seen for so many games. Yes, we've gotten results. And yes, it's not a meltdown, Pep out the door, this season is terrible. But the nervousness that I think that's creeped into many City fans is there's been no rhyme or reason to the lack of form at times. There's been no rhyme or reason to why Pep made the decisions that he did in terms of formations or even the 11. So I think everyone's on pins and needles because they're like, well, what 11 are we going to see on Saturday? And then not only that, because I'm guilty of this, I want to be like, well, where is everyone going to be placed? What's the formation on Saturday? I'm not stressing because, like Carl said, like you've told me, it's a derby. Pep's not going to screw this up. The players are definitely going to bring all their level, their highest level, because they know the importance of this. So we all need to calm down a little bit, but I can understand a portion of the fan base that are like, why are we so inconsistent? Why did we fall out of this cup?
Simon's Martin will agree, but we all get nervous when it's Derby Day because we've grown up, most of us here, being second fiddle in Manchester for 30 odd years plus. Of if we get a draw at Old Trafford, we're happy. But now the tables have turned. We've got to try and, we're all worried. We're still living those dark days when, oh my God, we're playing United, we're going to get smashed. Them days have gone. Now there's going to be days when we play United that, we're going to get beat, and it's going to happen. United seem to be getting back to form. I think Casemiro's made a huge difference to them, huge, and they've got rid of the spoiled brat, as I call him. He's gone, so the things have improved at Old Trafford, and we all know their manager's a good manager. He is a good manager, all right. So, but if we turn up and play our A game, we'll beat them, all right.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And a lot of fans are panicking at the moment because we turned up with our what I would call our C team on Wednesday night, because there was a lot of players that won't even make the bench, let alone anything else. So
why you wouldn't make the bench?
Well, Sergio Gomez won't.
He's been on the bench quite a lot.
He won't be on Saturday.
No, I know. And this is what I'm saying, though. This is my point. I look at the team last night.
Have you had a sleepless night, Martin?
No, I've sat and I felt a bit better. So and you know what? I look at that game, and other than Walker at centre back, possibly Grealish at left wing, but we know that's where he is anyway now. No one else was out of position. Where you would go, do you know what? Cancelo, we've all said Cancelo should go back to right back at some point.
Well, the goals we can see.
1 minute, Alan, 1 minute. I've been very patient with 10 minutes. Let me just have a moment. Thank you very much.
Martin last night.
Calvin Phillips, we have asked to play CDM and Rodri get a rest. Get what we want. People have moaned about Palmer and they've said, tell you what, needs to go in his natural position on the right wing. Goes on the right wing last night. People wanted Alvarez to start as a number 9. Started as a number 9. Grealish was probably our best forward yesterday. He was the only one trying to do anything yesterday.
I agree.
Right? Then Gundogan in his position. So other than Walker, who was actually out of position last night? I've asked this so many people, and they look at me and go, I can't actually tell. Because they can't tell me at that point. Because when you look at it in the cold out of day, nobody was out of position. Phil Foden, we've all said, you let him have a go in the middle. Oh, he was great against Chelsea. Goes in the middle last night. Oh, he's shit again all of a sudden. We're flip-flopping left and right here.
The thing that you could say is that when you're saying out of position, with having Walker and Cancelo on the same wing, it just hasn't worked. And Pep has tried it a couple of times now, and it is a bit of a failed system that I don't see him continuing with for the big games. He may try again at some stage against one of the lower league teams right now, but I can't see him doing it against United. But the thing that I've been hearing over the last 24 hours is that Pep has come out and said, he's got a master plan that he's gonna completely do something out of the box, And
please don't do his bad.
No, he was taking the mic. He's come out afterwards and went, if you don't understand when I'm joking with you, then I have a problem.
Oh, please tell me not to things again.
No, he came out and said he was taking the mic. He's winding people up sometimes, and people aren't understanding when he's doing it now. So he's now having to say, I'm joking here. Can you take it a bit less serious?
Let me.
Unless you've heard that, Martin, I can imagine if every City fan, because I hadn't heard that comment from Pep, I would imagine some City fans are probably going into panic stations going, oh my God, is he overthinking it again? You know what I mean? So maybe the meltdown is for these reasons as well.
Maybe. Well, I just think it's nerves. It's a derby game. We're all, I'll wake up tomorrow morning in Melbourne. We've got the private, we've got the function room all booked for tomorrow night, and we're all on edge. I'll be on edge all day tomorrow before the game. It's 11:30 here at night. I'll be on edge like everyone else will be back home, and it's the same for both sides. The fans are always on edge. Derby day it means so much to more to the fans than the players. To be honest with you, let's be honest.
Yeah,
it means so much. It's bragging rights. I'll be strutting round on Sunday morning, with my chest out if we win, and I'll wear my City top all day. And Monday, I'll make sure I wear a polo shirt to work with a City badge on to see if it helps to see some United fans. And you do see them here. You do see them, believe it or not. And it means so much to everybody, and it does. And if we lose against United, you come home, you shut the curtains, you take the phone off the hook, You know, you bury your head in your pillow at night and you start crying. Martin will have a freak out for about 3 days.
I won't. I'm going to bring Vegas back. Go on, mate.
So, just to go back to what you said with players playing in their position and whatnot, I think that's also part of the stress, right? Because many fans have said we want to see Palmer on that side. Everything that you listed out, many fans have asked for, right? And now when we see Foden playing the midfield, we see Palmer on that side. We see Gomez getting that start. And we see Alvarez up front, and it's not the result that we expect. Not only that, it's not the performance that we wanted, and we've all been calling for it. Then it's like, what now? We've been wanting to see these players. We get a chance to see them, and then when we judge their performance, it's lackluster. Again, that's the anxiety that we're kind of hearing. I think some of the verbiage on how they're expressing themselves with the stress is way out there. But I also understand it. Now, I'm going to be nervous just like you, more so day of than Friday. But I don't know how to express it. It's the day of. I just need to see us be City. That's it. I just want to see us be City and put in a fighting performance against United.
You know, I mean, just going on to kind of Alan's comments about, 30 years of City being the team, basically most of the time losing to United and, feeling like lucky to get a draw. The tables have turned, as we've mentioned, like City are now the dominant team in Manchester. They've won more than United in the last 10 years. United are now the underdog. But the thing is that City fans have still got that, especially the old school City fans, have still got that mentality of the nerves, the going into these games and thinking we're not going to win this. That's still there, I think that feeling is also kind of filtered onto some of the new fans as well.
The battle scars are still there.
Yeah,
that's why we always think the worst. I stand in the pub with 5-10 minutes to go. I'm texting Martin furiously, even though we're 4-0 up. I still think we're going to lose with 5 minutes to go. It's the whole habits of typical City when we think we're going to win games and just throw them completely away. And there's plenty of evidence for that. Being a City fan from the old days, there's plenty of evidence. That's why we're known as typical City, because they do that. Look at when we won the league, 2-1 down against a team that's going to get up, could have been relegated to QPR, who had 10 men, and we're losing 2-1 at home. That is typical City all over. My father sat next to me and said, Alan, it's the only City could win the league that way. And it's true. It's only City could win it that way.
Do you know what? And this is me, maybe this is me with my camera on. The end of last season, Rich has said this plenty of times. We absolutely limped over the line. We limped. And I mean limped. We all said, you know what? This squad needs improvement. We knew certain players were coming to the end. And we literally dragged ourselves over the finishing line. Then we've gone into this year. We bought Haaland and everyone went, oh, we're going to smash the league by 25 points because Haaland's here, right? And we brought Calvin Phillips in. And we didn't buy left back because Chelsea, quite rightly, were going to pay silly money. And we were never going to do that. There wasn't another left back there. We took the gamble on Gomez. Hasn't worked. We have to remember, maybe this is me, this side is in major transition right now.
Yeah, it is.
I still think it is.
Yeah.
We have no wingers within the football club. We need a left back. Kyle Walker is 32, 33, maybe even older. KDB is 33, nearly. Mahrez is 33. Gundogan's 32, 33, 34. All of our key players are coming to the end of their career. João Cancelo's decided to nosedive somewhere else. This squad is coming to an end. If you look at every single player we've been linked with, they are 19, 20, 21 years old. They are coming in for the long haul of a 10-year plan. If any manager deserves a transitional season to be allowed to rebuild a squad anywhere in world football is Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola has earned the right and our trust to go again in the summer, rebuild this team, and we go. Some of them are done. They're finished.
I think where I'll call you out, Martin, that you're slightly exaggerating. Our whole squad, we've still got, ultimately we've got Alvarez, Haaland, Foden. We've got Bernardo and Rodri. We've got Laporte.
But we know Bernardo's.
We've got Edison, Laporte, Stones, Rico Lewis, Akanji. We've got a core of players, at least a dozen players who can be here for another 5 years. So yes, we've got some changes to make, but it's not. We're not sitting there with 16.
No, but we haven't. What I mean is, Rich, we haven't got a winger in the club.
But we
haven't got a left back.
We haven't had a left
All
back.
Of that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, we haven't had a left back for most of the last 40 years. So, that's kind of what we're used to. Pep's had players like Fabian Delph, central midfielder, and Zinchenko at number 10. We've consistently had no one at left back. I'd argue that, probably Ake as a left-sided defender is probably the closest we've had to a left back since Clichy and, Clichy left. I don't think Kolarov was ever a left back. He was some kind of, left wingy kind of defensive midfield strange player. So I don't think we've that's just something, seems to be a City thing. We don't have left backs, and we don't seem to try and sign left backs. And even like Gomez wasn't a left back; he was a number 10 who was moved to play left back in a 5-man defence. I mean, as a winger, and spent most of he was signed for his crossing, not because he actually ever knew how to defend. But it takes time to rebuild, and the fact is that if we match Arsenal in the next month and then we beat Arsenal, we're, potentially one home win against Arsenal from being top. So
the thing that bothers me is that, Rich, Liverpool and Chelsea are worse off than us, and they're not doing what we're doing right now. They're having a bit of a moan, but they're not going to the extremes we're going at with some of the comments.
Yeah, but you got to remember. Yeah, no, Chelsea are having some pretty big meltdowns. And as for Liverpool, they're a cult. Liverpool are only not top of the league because, VAR's conspiring against them, even though the whole world has seen that VAR just allowed a goal that was a metre onside.
It upsets me, Rich.
Liverpool is a team of excuses. They won't turn on things because they've got excuses. It's only because the world's conspiring against Liverpool that they're not top clear by 10 points. So forget Liverpool. You cannot, in a rational discussion, compare any other set of football supporters on this planet to Liverpool fans, because they are the QAnon, they are the mad Brexiteers, they are, the Marjorie Taylor Greene of football. They're cultists.
Yes. Yeah, but here's another. All right, I'll throw this back.
Chelsea fans we can do, and a lot of Chelsea fans are in meltdown. They were singing for Tuchel against City. They were singing for Tuchel.
I know, Rich, but I think
meltdown.
we're one loss away from starting the Pep out chance.
Well,
do you know how scary this is, Rich? We are second, and this is what upsets me.
Honestly, anyone who starts a Pep out chant, they should just grab themselves by the scruff of the neck,
throw themselves bleeding out,
give themselves a slap on each cheek, and send themselves home to bed.
Martin, get off Twitter. Get off Twitter, because that.
No, Alan, this is not Twitter. These are some big
Martin, you know what it is? These people need to look at what happened at Barcelona, the way that the fans and also the hierarchy somewhat push Pep out of the club. And if you want Pep, arguably who's the best manager in world football, if you want him to stay, respectfully, yes, you can criticize him, but don't go to the lengths of stupidity. There's a difference between criticizing somebody and then doing stupidity to the extent where he just says, fuck this, I've had enough, and I'm gone. Because that's what's going to happen. Like what you've been saying, Martin, is going to come to the extent where he's going to say to himself, listen, I'm at a place where people are not respecting me. And why the fuck am I going to stay out of place? Why
The
the fuck
thing
am I
is-
going to stay at place? You know?
The thing is, we're talking about this right now, okay? And we're talking about the current kind of because of last night's match. I think if we smash United on Saturday, no one's going to be talking about this anymore. No one's going to be talking about
I'm not
this
sure
so-called
of that.
crisis.
Because we did this was the exact same reaction after it. It's a bit more venomous than the Everton, but after Everton there was an undercurrent of this. Then
Yeah,
we
and then-
sort of piped it down with the 2 Chelsea wins, and yeah, it's fine. We'll get a win against United if we do, and it'll all be fine till the next defeat or the next poor performance, and then it all rolls on again.
I
So
think
you end up in a vicious
personally, Martin,
circle.
I think this is mainly down to the poor defeat because the poor performance is really what it comes down to.
See, I disagree with that.
I think it comes down to
And I've
both of those
listened to
games when it
some
comes to Everton
big
and Southampton.
podcasters today.
The thing
Big
is,
podcasters
the
today.
thing is,
use the
Alan,
word
yeah.
crisis.
The point of Alan saying, get off Twitter, I see that to a certain standpoint. But Martin, when you're talking about some of the big accounts, whether it's YouTube or podcasts, unfortunately,
They have an influence.
They do have an influence, but unfortunately, there's the unfortunate part with regards to how things are distributed and some of the word choices and how you phrase the titles and what you put in some of the descriptions and how you get the word out. When you put crisis, when you put disaster, when you put meltdown, when you put some of those words that are going to trigger and trend, it's how they get their message out, unfortunately. And I think they can say all of that, whether it's going to carry weight for the fan base that are going to react to it, I don't know. But I know that there's a portion of some of the content creators to kind of obviously serve some of the trends that happen within the
Okay,
space.
clickbaiting their videos for viewership.
Yeah, not even baiting it, but just knowing this is what I'm going to get a reaction. I'm going to get interest. So here's how I'm going to phrase things, unfortunately.
And the thing is that I mean, on this channel, we're not the type of channel that loses our head easily. We have debates, we have conversations amongst ourselves on the panel, and obviously with all you guys in the chat right now and watching. And we kind of talk about everything. We break it down and we talk about it rationally, and that's what we do. And we hope you can walk away from after seeing this and think, actually, these guys made some sense. It's not so much of a crisis. It's just a moment in time where we're not brilliant, but hopefully going forward, we're going to smash it on Saturday, go on to win the league, go on to win the Champions League, and go on to win the FA Cup, and then we'll all be going, hallelujah! What a season.
Do you know what? The simple fact is, and we're going to move on, is if we don't win anything this year, we don't win anything. It's the way it is. We rebuild again in the summer. I don't want to go into this thing and we don't win a trophy. That's it. The end of the world comes in. This is why I say about learning about Manchester City, learning the background, learning about we are not Liverpool, we are not United, we are not Madrid, we are not Barcelona. Because we don't win a league or a cup, we're banging on the gates at the front going, we want answers. That is not us. I know it's different. I know we've changed.
Martin, one sec. You're absolutely right. However, if we continue to see Southampton performances, old City, what we expected, what we asked of our players was to fight. What we saw against Southampton was not fight. We will have a crisis meltdown if we see players perform like that throughout the season, resulting in nothing. That's the point to be clear on.
Yeah.
Totally but I don't think you'll get. I think last night was poor, and some players will have had their card marked, and they will be gone in the summer now. Trust me now. Pep Guardiola will have gone in that changing room last night and absolutely ripped one off every single one of them. Pep hasn't gone in there last night and shook all their hands and gone, well done, lads. He has ripped them.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he doesn't do it in public. And he's always said, go back to the Amazon documentary. I will not rip you in public.
Yeah.
I won't do it.
Him for it. Yeah.
Martin,
I'll rip you in here.
Martin, what's the best league in the world?
Premier League.
And why is that?
Because it's the most competitive and the hardest thing to win. And may I add, why only one team has ever won a three-peat?
Yeah,
one manager and one team, because it's the bleeding hardest thing to ever do.
And in the Premier League, only one team has ever managed to win the Champions League and the league at the same time.
And how long ago was that, Rich? That was what? 10 years ago?
Yeah, I didn't have any grey in my beard, that's for sure. No, it wasn't 10 years ago, it was longer than that. It was about 15, was it? Well, longer.
They know. The players know.
And that's the reality. Yeah, one reason why we played badly last night is that every single player named on that team, when they knew they were playing, they knew they weren't playing in the derby on Saturday. They knew that they're not in Pep's current first choice 11. They know that unless, something changes, they're probably not going to play the big games going forward. They know they're in that team because they're out of form. Probably feeling the pressure on them. I mean, Cancelo's been badly out of form, but he hasn't played the same position 2 games on the trot since about October. So he's never going to find his form, because if you go left back, right wing, left back, right wing, right back, right wing, left back, and you're playing with a different player in front or behind you every week on a different side of the pitch, even if, there's no chance he's going to find form. So that's not going to change. We've got players, I heard saw a number of people yesterday, and this is what I really took issue with, saying, writing off Calvin Phillips, saying we should sell him to West Ham, we should sell him back to Leeds. He can't do it. Now, that position is the hardest position in City's team. We have, I would argue, the best player in the world in that position. Not everyone agrees, but
makes it look easy.
I would argue in our team and possession, not that he's maybe out and out as mobile a defender as Casemiro, but in terms of keeping possession, in terms of bringing the team forward, in terms of being able to play that role. Phillips comes in. Phillips spent 2/3 of last season injured. So he never found form or fitness last season. We signed him, should have been fit, but he then had a shoulder, a dislocated shoulder, which is just bad luck, the wrong fall at the wrong time. So he's barely trained with City to learn the role. He goes off with England where they won't have trained properly, and he wasn't fit when he went to England. He had no match time behind him. So truth is, Calvin Phillips needs 10, 15 games to get the fitness. He needs 10, 15 games to get used to the role. And that is going to be very, very hard now, because we probably don't have 10 or 15 games to give him that. So that it's going to be very hard to see how City are going to try and do that through training. But then people were writing him off. I don't care. You could take Rodri and put him in a different team, give him 6 months off to lose his fitness, put him in a different team, tell him to play a different role, and Rodri would look like a non-league player for a few weeks whilst he got that.
Rodri didn't have the best support his first year here, so it took him a while to get up to speed. So
you have to be match fit. You have to be confident in your body. You have to be used to the role you're going to play it well. You're a part of a machine at City, and to write players off, and yes, there are players who can come in and fit in brilliantly. And Rico Lewis is an example of that. Rico Lewis has fitted in seamlessly, but he has been playing and trained to play that the way that we play since 8 years old. So Rico Lewis, whilst he's coming into the first team and doing a new role, he has been training at that. And he is also, obviously, in terms of football intelligence, an incredibly intelligent young man. And in terms of his maturity, an incredibly mature young footballer. So he's come in and
Barry, mate. Because he's from Barry.
Yeah. But Gomez is a number 10 from the Belgian league playing left back, who we're expecting to look like, Theo Hernandez, in prime form in his first game. And
listen,
he may or may not make it at City, but he's not going to make it in 5 minutes.
Do you know what? He probably won't make it at City, but City knew that about Gomez probably. They took a gamble. They gambled.
You know what it is, Martin? For the price that we paid, for Gomez, we can always recoup that money back. It's a gamble where you paid £11. If it doesn't work out, you can always recoup it.
The
Say
kid was
compared to
meant to
say
go to Girona on loan.
compared
kid-
to say if you spend say 50 million on a player, yeah, if you spend 50 million on a player, you'll be lucky say if you get say 30 or 20 million for that player. But you
See,
spent
that's a
11 million.
crisis. Chelsea are the one in bloody crisis, not us.
Man, too.
They bought Felix. And he's been sent
Martin,
off.
Joe Felix has been sent off as well.
That's what I mean. That's a bloody crisis.
Yeah,
But everyone just wants to keep writing the check. Just calm. Let us get the transition done. If we try, we try. And wherever we land. Listen, I want to move on.
Was there not an element of, sorry, Martin, was there not an element of Sergio Gomez almost the suggestion of him going on loan, even when we did acquire him in this?
Yeah.
Right?
He was going to Girona.
Yeah, so it kind of speaks to where the questions may have been around him and whether he was ready or not. So, yeah,
he just didn't want to pay 65 million for, thank God, in the end, for Cucurella. And do you know what? All of us at the time went, well done, City aren't mercenaries. They're not going to get ripped off. And now all of a sudden, we're killing the guy we took a gamble on, and we should have got Cucurella. What? You can't win. You just can't bloody win. Pep's fully sat there going, I can't win here. I just forget it and move on. Listen, let's start on the derby. United, do you know what gets me? Everyone's talked about United like the back. Yes, they have got a nice, consistent run going. But I'm just going to read you out some scores from October. We'll start from October. So from the 30th of October, they beat West Ham at home. 1-0. Nice old little win. Then they went and played Real Sociedad, and they got beat 1-0 at home. Then they played Aston Villa. They got beat 3-1. Then they played Aston Villa in the EFL Cup, got a nice 4-2 win. They then played Fulham at Craven Cottage and got a 2-1 away win. They then went and rolled into Burnley. Vinny Company's Burnley beat them 2-0. Then they got Nottingham Forest, beat them 3-0. Then they played Wolverhampton Wanderers and they beat them 1-0. Good little results, clean sheets here. But you'll see where I'm going in a minute. Then they went and played AFC Bournemouth and beat them 3-0. Great. Then they played Everton and they beat them 3-1. Great. Well done. United are back. Sorry. Right. Hang on a minute. When have United played anyone half decent in 4 months?
Yeah.
This is a nice run, but let's put back into context here. They've played jack shit in 4 months. They've had the easiest run they've ever had.
Yeah. I think this is where, we need to take a middle ground on this. Yes, they haven't played good teams, but if they'd have played those same teams in the last 5 seasons, they would have lost 4 or 5 of them, and they'd have had some absolutely terrible games. So I have absolutely no doubt that United are a better side than we've seen from them for a couple of years. I know they came second. I mean, they came second a couple of years back, but I think they're a better side than that one that came second now, because they got rid of whining kid or whatever you want to call him, because a bit of discipline's been installed, because they actually got a manager who, is potentially a very good manager. So I think they're improving, but equally I've seen United fans claiming they're now contenders and stuff like that. They're not.
Oh, they are saying that. They're
still not playing. They're not playing great football, but what they have done is they've kind of built a foundation. They've got rid of the really awful performances against bad teams. They've got a bit of consistency back, so they are a better team. But they're not yet playing football that I look at them and think, they're like an Arsenal playing football where they go into a game and you think, yeah, they're definitely going to win. And if City were playing them tomorrow, we've got to worry. So, but I think what will be interesting, and I think probably ultimately will determine Sunday, is how the two managers decide to approach the game. Because is Ten Hag going to try and play tight, or is he going to try and play open, or is he going to try and change something because he's playing a better opponent and he's a bit speak? And will Pep, Pep he's done it once or twice against United, but generally we've had a lot of very good performances against United under Pep. But is Pep going to suddenly start treating United like Liverpool and change the way we play and change everything, or is he going to play a fairly standard game? Because I think, a lot, for all the talk about players out of form and stuff, when you have as many players out of form as City do, that's mainly because the whole team is out of form and the manager hasn't quite got his idea about what he's doing right. But I do think we know what we're going to see Saturday, because I think we saw what the starting lineup's going to be when we saw the side at Southampton. And, unless, one of the only players who I thought actually showed a bit of passion and does have a lot of excuses, for being a bit off his Laporte, but I don't, he could come back, but I don't think he's probably 100%. So I don't think he will. So, there's a chance that one of Gundogan, Grealish and Foden will start. But other than that, Pep's told us what's happening. Rico Lewis is going to start the derby. I think Ake, Akanji and Stones will start. Most likely Rodri, Bernardo and De Bruyne.
There's
possibly
there's a bit of doubt on Stones, I'm afraid. I have heard that he may have picked up a little bit of a niggle, and so he may not actually feature on Saturday.
Which would be a disaster, because he's been our, since the 23rd, he's been our best player.
Can I just people said to me, well, we didn't beat Everton and Southampton. That's a fair argument. But we have, I know people don't like this, but apparently we were going to get smacked against Liverpool, I got told as well, when we came back to the League Cup. Everyone told us we were going to get smacked by Liverpool, and we beat them. Chelsea, yeah, they're not in fine fittle, but we beat them twice. At the end of the day, it's this United thing. I'm not saying United aren't in a good reign of form. They are. But they've not played anyone in about 3 months. They haven't. Everyone they're playing are in the bottom 3 or 4.
And has
anyone watched United of late? Because,
they're not great.
No, exactly. They're not great. I haven't actually seen kind of what kind of team they are yet. Are they a possession team? Are they a counter-attacking team? Because
they're in transition.
I've
watched them play, but you know what it is? If the way that they play is, look, they have a midfield three of Casemiro holding and Fernandez and what's his name? Ericsson. But you know what? The issue that I have with that midfield is Ericsson is similar to in a sense with Gundogan, where it's not a negative about Gundogan, where if he loses the ball, he's not tracking back. So that's what I say. That's what I don't want to see him say cocky or arrogant about it. That's what I'm saying. If we put the midfield three of Rodri, Bernardo Silva, KDB against the midfield three of, say, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, or whether it's McTominay and Bruno Fernandes, that midfield three of Bernardo and KDB and Rodri will have a field day. For me personally, I think they will, because Bernardo will easily go past Casemiro. We've seen that. So it all depends on how United decide to set up. If it goes with that, I could still see space. And you know what it is with United? As soon as they lose the ball, their issue is if a team hits them on the counter attack very quickly, they're very slow to get back into their position.
I think you got to watch United's main strength, as we all know, is on the transition, on the counter. They've got quick forwards, i.e. Rashford. Rashford's in big form at the moment, and there's not many players can handle his pace, and he is very quick. But if we leave space behind for him to get into, he could kill us. And he's done it before. We know he's done it before against us. So we just have to be careful of the transition, I think, against United.
Go on,
I think City will play the game of possession. They'll try and kill off the game at the beginning. Keep it slow, keep the crowd down. I think that's where United will go back a bit. They'll come back, and I think that's where they'll play. You're right, Alan. I think they'll play on the counter a lot, relying on Rashford and Anthony to kind of give them the pace and get in behind.
Yeah. We're going to have the possession, aren't we?
Yeah.
This is the thing. United aren't going to have the possession. So we're going to go to their place. We have to control the tempo. Veta, have you got any because from what I gather in the comments, a lot of people are really bricking it Saturday. Some have given up. We're going to get beat 9-0, 12-0. Season's over, can't be asked. United are having a better season than us, even though we won more games, lost less games, drawn less games, scored more goals, conceded the least amount of goals. More, so everything is better than what United season are, but they're having a wonderful season and we're in crisis. So should we not bother on Saturday? Should we give it up and go home?
We're not in crisis, but we are inconsistent. I think everyone must agree on that.
I'm sure Alan doesn't listen to what I say sometimes, you know.
We're not in crisis. Right.
Alan, some fans are saying we are.
Martin, how would these be our fans in the olden days when we lose every single week or get a draw, we'd celebrate, and get 40 points, we'd celebrate for staying up? You know, they haven't grown up like me and you with that, and Richard, of celebrating staying up on the last game of the season or playing for a draw against Liverpool and getting relegated. Come on.
I remember celebrating having a disco at the Hawthorns when we were 4-0 down after an hour.
Exactly.
You know what I'll do? I'll end this quite simply. I'll send you the podcast later. That is the biggest city podcast out there that I've used the word "we're in a crisis."
Really?
And Alan,
Really?
Alan, your name's not Vader, so Vader was going to try and make
Trade
a
him.
point. Let
Go on,
him make
Vader.
a point.
My apologies, Vader. Off you.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I love the show. The thing with the fan base, and pardon me, do not kill me for this analogy, but if we were all in a fight, if we were all in a battle, if we were all at war, we know that amongst the hundreds of us, there's going to be a few that are going to turn tail and run. There's going to be some of us that are going to continue take it head on. There's going to be some of us that are going to continue fighting and taking on the battle. For as large as the fan base is, and I'm not calling them weak, but there are some fans that are quick to pull the emergency lever or break glass in case of emergency and freak out and stress. We have to let them react the way they react. We will probably never be the loudest voices. To your point, Martin, you brought up that podcast. It has a great following and they're already talking about crisis. We may not match them in terms of numbers right now. Down the road, possibly. But despite not being the loudest voices, we just need to continue to do us. We're putting in a fight against United. There's no doubt. It's a foregone conclusion. They're winning, not show up. No, that's not how we're built. So for those fans that want to talk that way, be scared. That's cool. We'll be brave. We'll fight. When the results come in and we win, we will still accept you back to cheer on the remaining of the season. Unfortunately, we're never going to get 100% of us all on the same page, knowing what this fight is going to entail. Some are going to be a little nervous and ready to run and wait for us to fight that fight. That's really how I look at the fan base at times. Sorry for the rant.
No, listen. I don't mind people being angry. I get it. And I get the nerves. It's Derby. And like Alan said, we're all nervous for a Derby anyway. I get that. I just think every time we have had a bad performance this year, we've bounced back and we've gone, right, you know, this is what I'm saying. Pepe's not stupid. These Gundogan said it today. Something not right. We know that. That's, you know, if something isn't right and we're still bloody second and scored the most goals, I'll bloody take something's not right then. Imagine when it's all bloody clicking then. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I understand we're not top and I understand we're not 10 points clear. I get that. And we're used to lifting a trophy. I heard one City fan today on Twitter sadly say, because of last night, he wanted to top himself. This is what it shouldn't be doing. This shouldn't be doing stuff like this. No, but it's not really funny, Alan, but it's the point. This is what it's... I heard another fan say, if Grealish plays, that's it, I'm done with City.
Yeah,
What?
You're not a true fan, then, are you? Let's be honest.
Is this where some of the fan base has gone? And this is my point.
Well, Martin,
You know-
I think we need to come down to some people are just having a bit of a meltdown. They need to calm down and just.
I'm having a meltdown over their meltdown.
I know, and that's why I think you need to calm down as well before you go any more redder and you may turn into a United fan. So let's keep it in perspective and let's maybe move on rather than the crisis that some fans think we're in. I think we're better off talking about the game and how we're going to approach it and what team we might see come in that first lineup. So
you should always, Jack, put in the effort. You don't ever give up on your club. That's why we came back from the depths of hell, because we didn't give up on our club. That's why.
Fans want to look on YouTube and find Man City v Luton when David Pleat does the jig across the main road pitch. And I watched it.
I was watching it last night.
Yeah, I watched it last week.
It's only because Alan was doing the jig.
He showed the highlights of the game. Alex Williams in net and Luton scored. I was at the game. And, I'm watching that and you think, crisis, we'll watch that, please.
You were on the same stream. You were on the same stream earlier, and there was a guy. Listen, it's all opinions, and I get it, but it made me cry a little bit because one of the comments was, "I'll take second as long as we win the Champions League." I cried. Because I'm like, "Is this where we are now?"
I cried.
Yeah, some that are there.
Some of it was on Twitter. It was on a YouTube stream,
Yeah.
and I'm sat there going, "It's now first or bust. It's first or bust now." With some fans, it is first or bust.
No, history tells us we're not gonna win the Champions League if we win the league anyway. Because the only English teams win it when they're able to rest the players in the league because they've given up on the league. Now I'm still devastated that I watched the Luton game and seeing my favourite manager playing for Luton as captain still hurts.
I don't think any
what
team.
The great Horton did to us.
Team.
I was there that day. I remember because I was supposed to be playing cricket and we got rained off because it was raining in the morning.
Right.
And ended up going to Main Road to watch the game.
Let's go around. Let's start with the team.
You don't have a 10-minute reminisce about Luton, Martin. Can't I?
Come on, let's have a 10 minutes.
I was going to talk about
what I will promise you, though, Rich, I'll promise you 5 minutes at the end to have a little reminisce about how you nearly got your mighty use at the Etihad.
I know, I'm a bit devastated.
You got picked on by Arsenal.
I was looking for them to put out Arsenal and City. That would have been.
Anyway, is anyone not putting Edison in the team on Saturday? No one shits and giggles what I throw an Ortega in?
No.
Edison. Right.
Martin, are you looking to start a war?
I don't know anything to say at the minute. I'm starting a war. Right.
There's a good keeper playing for the Dog and Duck on last Sunday. He looked quite good in net, so we might put him in instead.
Adam. Are you putting it right back?
Walker, no brainer.
Ozzy? Walker. We're going to get you a yellow. We're going to get these yellow and red cards, I promise you.
It's a bit of a difficult one, really, because I would normally go, Walker is a solid start. He can handle Rashford's pace, and he's been the best right back in Europe for God knows how long now. We've all said it. But for me, I've just got this feeling that he's going to start Rico Lewis. I can just see it happening, if I'm honest, because I think the way he's played and the way Pep wants him to play in that position, I can just see it, if I'm honest. He's been the most stable kind of player we've seen come through the ranks in quite a long time, and he's probably the most stable player in the team as well. So I can kind of see it happening, if I'm honest. Maybe a bit of a wild call, but I can just see it happening.
No, I don't think it is. But right, so we've got Adam has gone I'm just making notes of these because I want to see who actually gets it right. Walker, Ozzy, right. Alan.
Walker.
Nice and easy. Vader, where are you going for right back?
I'm kind of torn like Ozzy is. I would.
I'm going on my own.
Because of the because of the derby. I'm saying Walker, but I could easily see it. I could see Lewis being maybe the first sub that Pep makes with regards to that starting 11.
So
but,
you're cheating.
I'm going with Walker.
Cheating there and throwing in a sub as well.
I'll
have Walker, but I'll have Lewis as well because he'll come on later on. Rich, who's your right back?
I think Lewis is starting, no doubt. Walker would not start centre back against Southampton if he was playing against United. Not a chance.
Wow.
I'm going for Lewis as well. I think
it's a big call in the derby game at Old Trafford.
It's a big call, but I think Pep made it when he started Walker at centre back. He'd already made the call.
Yeah, I think you're right, Rich.
There was less required for centre back though. Okay, yeah.
Well, this is where we go now. Adam, who's your centre back pairing for the derby?
Even though he came back from an injury, I would say Laporte and Stones. But if he's unable to, the other option is Laporte and Akanji.
Well, you might as well give me a left back as
Is
well.
Stones back from injury?
My left back will be Ake, without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay. Ozzy, who's the rest of your back line?
Yeah, so if reports are true with Stones potentially having a bit of a niggle, I would say my back pairing would be Stones and Laporte. But just in case, I'm probably going to go for Akanji and Laporte. It's those three basically. It depends. Like I said, if Stones is all okay and he's not that badly injured, then for me it would be Stones and Laporte.
Okay. I'm making notes of these because I'm going to see who gets the closest. For the first time, I want to see who actually gets the closest. Alan, who's your rest of your back line?
The rest of the back line will be Stones if he's fit and Laporte. Failing Stones not fitting, Akanji will come in for either or if none of them are fit, right? Then I'll have Walker at fullback, left fullback. Not Walker, sorry, Aki, sorry, beg your pardon.
I was going to say you can't have Walker
no,
at
sorry,
left
Aki,
and right back.
Yeah, no, Aki, beg your pardon. Yeah, Aki's a no-brainer for me.
Vader.
Well, see, the beauty of going last is I get to hear all of these brilliant.
Hey, you're not last. That's me. My privilege.
That's true. You haven't gone, Rich. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So healthy. It's Stones and Laporte. And the reason why I'm going to stress that is because they'll provide the distribution, and in terms of the real coverage, dealing with pace, dealing with the attack, that'll be Walker and Ake. I think that might be the combination. We might rely on Stones and Laporte for the distribution pass-wise, and Walker and Ake to be defensively sound for the attacks from United.
By the way, the reason we're not going on the Pep out Potter in because there ain't one person on here that's getting rid of Pep Guardiola. So it's a bit of a silly. We know point him going down that road because nobody is going to sack Pep.
And Potter's still in the
job. If you're saying that, please go and support Arsenal. Thank you.
Arsenal? Where's that come from? Where's Arsenal jump from?
Well, just tell them to bugger off and don't support
Bugger off. That's like proper granddad, but I want to bugger off. Bugger him off. Not bugger off.
What's your language, Alan?
Bugger him off.
Sorry.
I didn't mean it in that way. Anyway, mate, where are you? Walker, Laporte.
Walker, Stones, Laporte, Ake.
Everyone's gone. Rich, please tell me you've got someone a little bit different.
Well, I must admit, it's not necessarily. I don't think Laporte is fit, and I'm going to have to assume Stones is fit. So I actually think we might go with Ake, Akanji, Stones, and Lewis. I would start Laporte if he's 100%, but I think He isn't. And I think Akanji's suited by United because Akanji is fast and good on the ground. His weakness is in the air, but I don't think you're going to see much in the air from United. So having him playing with his pace in the middle is probably not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Is anyone not putting Rodri in? I might as well ask. I know that's a really daft question to even ask.
Actually, I didn't actually give my left back, Martin.
I thought you did. Sorry, mate.
That's all right. I just realised because you only asked for centre back pairing. So my left back would be Aki. Sorry.
We've literally all picked the same back. Is anyone not choosing Rodri just for shits and giggles? No. Okay, so Rodri, right. Is anyone not choosing KDB?
Well, look, for as much as for however he's been poor, you still want him in this lineup.
If anyone doesn't pick him, they won't slap him.
Yeah, Alan, don't hold back tonight, mate. Why don't you just?
Jesus Christ, mate, he's our best player.
Who is?
KDB. He is.
He's definitely one of our best players.
He's one of them. I won't say right now he is the best. I think he's had a shocker at the minute.
Well, I don't care what anyone says. For big games, you don't.
We clearly understand you don't care what anyone says. You're telling people to bugger off and all sorts here, mate. You,
well, they want the Reds.
Cards on that
They want the Reds testing. Seriously.
I think we're all agreed that KDB is the one in our starting lineups.
Right, it's KDB. Right, who's alongside him? This is the. Will he go with his second son, or is he going to use his brains and throw the person in that he should?
Bernardo for me.
You know what, Alan? I kind of disagree with that. You know why I say that? For some reason, something tells me that he's probably going to end up playing Bernardo on the right. I don't know why, but that's coming in the back of my head telling me, I could see Bernardo.
Bernardo has to play. Bernardo has to play if he gets United because he always plays well against them, and two, he's got the legs and energy.
You know why I say that? I could see a midfield three of Gundogan, Rodri, and KDB, and Bernardo playing on the right.
Possible.
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not as well.
But Bernardo has to play.
There is one thing that does say though that might be right, is that Bernardo sliding into centre midfield as a defensive midfield alongside Rodri will not happen if Rico Lewis is playing. So if Rico Lewis is playing, Rico Lewis will go and do that, and Bernardo's role becomes different. And if that's the case, then maybe Pep plays Bernardo on the right, and that's one of the problems with naming the team is if one cog changes, it changes everything. So if we don't start, for example, if we don't start Rico Lewis, then he's not sliding into midfield, which means Bernardo has to, which means you've got a different forward line. But if you do play Rico Lewis, Bernardo can't play that role, so it does change everything up. So, I think Bernardo starts because he starts big games, but I guess if we are saying Rico Lewis starts, then maybe it is going to be Gundogan and De Bruyne and Bernardo on the right.
That's the interesting point. This is why I'm asking, because what people need to realise is Rico starts, he'll probably be told to move into the midfield at some point, which means Bernardo Silva, where does he go?
Yeah.
You got to look at combinations of what Pep's doing, and
I mean, even though I think most of us can you're right, Mike. I think most of us can see that pattern, but I still think I think for most of us we are going to pick Bernardo in that midfield just because of what he can do, and he still has that freedom to move around in that midfield and even go up front at the same time. So, I think as much as we can all adopt and see what Pep might do with putting Gundo rather and putting Bernardo out on the wing, just for me personally, I would just rather see him in the midfield and have other players up front. which we'll get onto shortly, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I think where we're up to. Adam, who you having there alongside KDB and Rodra?
Bernardo.
Ozzy.
Yeah, Bernardo.
Okay. Alan.
Bernardo.
Beto.
Silva.
Mitch.
So this is for right attack. And is it
No,
me or
for
who?
midfield.
No, midfield.
No, midfield.
I'd have Bernardo.
I think he's going Gundogan. I won't lie.
God.
Do you think Gundogan? Do you think he played Gundogan like 60 hours before a game like that?
Yeah, because he's done it before.
He has done it before. That's why
Okay.
we can see the pattern.
And Gundogan, to be fair, Gundogan ran the show against United at home.
Gundogan generally starts for United against United. If you look, he has played a lot against United.
Yeah.
He's back to this control. I know he
And done
likes
well.
that word.
Well,
Right.
I agree with you. He is the best at controlling the game.
Front three. Not that I want that because I think it slows us down. But if you play Gundogan, it allows Rico to come do his job. Bernardo stops that Rico Lewis.
But that's the thing. Are you asking us what we think or what we think Pep will pick?
What you think it'll be?
Yeah.
I tend to think he probably will play Gundogan because I don't think he can play Bernardo in midfield if Rico Lewis plays. So
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I would
That's
play
what I'm
Bernardo.
saying.
I would play Bernardo, but I think he, I don't think Bernardo is going to play in midfield if Rico Lewis plays because I think Bernardo will probably then get. Maybe Bernardo won't even get picked because I think Riyad Mahrez is starting.
I think, mate. I think if Bernardo's not in midfield, he'll play on the right hand side. He'll
I
play.
don't think
Mahrez.
I think Mahrez 100% will start.
Yeah.
Okay, then. But Adam, who's your front three then?
You know what it's going to be? It's going to be a front three of Grealish, Haaland, and Mahrez. But ideally, I would love for it to be Foden, Haaland, and Alvarez. But what Pep is most likely going to go with is Grealish, Haaland, and Mahrez.
All I'll say is there was a reason Mahrez sat on the bench on Wednesday night.
Yeah,
and didn't come on.
Yeah, I think he's playing 100%.
And I genuinely think, and Grealish got taken off at halftime. Not because I think he was playing bad, because I'll be honest with you, I thought he was our best forward on Wednesday night. He was the only one trying to do anything. So he was brought off with sat there.
Yeah, so
the front line for me will be Grealish, Haaland, Mahrez. Anyone wants to challenge me on that or challenge Adam, by all means, jump in. But I think Wednesday, I think Foden doesn't start.
I think you're probably right, and I think because of that, I'm gonna go for Gundogan being dropped because I think Pep knows he'll need legs in midfield. So, mate, I'll go Bernardo, Mahrez, Grealish, Haaland.
Yeah, there was a reason why Foden played all the game, and the reason why Mahrez didn't touch the pitch.
So, whoa. The front three is Mahrez, Haaland,
Grealish, Haaland, Mahrez.
But why doesn't the same theory work? Because Grealish started that match.
Yeah, but he went off at halftime. And I don't think he went off because he was playing bad. Because, as we both said earlier, mate, on the other one, Grealish was the only one in the front three trying to do anything.
Yeah.
Grealish wasn't the one who deserved to be hooked at halftime at Southampton. That was pre-planned to come off.
Can I ask a question?
I'm not agreeing, but okay.
Just a question, just about the midfield, just to kind of just jinx it up a little bit. Could we see Foden starting the midfield though? Because I mean, even though yes, he didn't do particularly well yesterday, he did particularly well against Chelsea. Do you know what I mean?
I'd love that. But I'd love Jack in the middle as well. This is the bloody problem.
Yeah, I know, but we haven't seen Jack in midfield yet, have we? So let's just stick with Foden for a minute. Could he initially, could he be the legs in midfield that we've all been crying out for, and we've all been crying out for him to be there, and he has been there for the last 2 games. Yes, Southampton was not a great game for him there, but he did really well against Chelsea.
But then you know what the issue with that is? Then you're gonna have to drop either Bernardo. And
Bernardo's didn't have a particularly great game himself over the last couple of games, so
Yep.
I could see Bernardo being dropped, in all honesty, because we've said that he may not even start even without Foden being in the team. So I'm just putting, that caveat in there. Could anyone see Foden starting in the midfield?
No. I would love it, but I don't think so. I would personally, for me, I'd love it.
Not in that game. No.
No, I don't think you will.
Alan, you're being extremely quiet.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to...
Alan's still trying to get the head round Mahrez started.
Yeah. One thing I'd be really interested in everyone's thoughts on is, right, Pep in some big games tries something mad and does something which has everyone going like, what the fuck? If he's going to do that this week, what crazy plan could you have? I was thinking the other night, what happens if he, decides to do something crazy like start, Rico Lewis with Rodri in midfield and, change up the midfield with a 4-2-3-1 formation or something,
You were doing the post-match of that.
What happens if he suddenly thinks, right, I want control in midfield, I'm actually going to play Rico Lewis there with Rodri and then play, say a Kanji right back or Walker right back with the back four. Have any of you got any other thoughts on something crazy that Pep might try?
I've got one.
I'm not doing it.
I've got one for you. And if it goes down to some of the fans that are losing their heads right now, and if he listens to them, not starting Haaland.
You mean with his burner account?
Yeah. Not starting Haaland and having a false 9 system.
Oh, Jesus, no. The false 9 didn't work last night.
No, but I'm just saying, Martin, a lot of people have been crying out for it, saying Haaland's just not right. He's not fitting in, blah, blah, blah.
I've been listening to the fans. There you go, boys. And then change it all after.
I'm giving you what you want.
Can I go now? Can I go?
Go on.
Foden on the right, Haaland in at the number 9, and Grealish on the left-hand side.
So you think he's dropping Mahrez for 2 games straight when he was man of the match the previous one?
I just think that's what he'll go for. He's not dropping. He's on the bench. It's a squad game, mate.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And Mahrez rested the last game.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see that sometime because I think Mahrez.
The reason why Foden's not in great form, but the reason why I'm picking Foden is he's a mank.
I don't think Pep gives 2 tosses about that.
Yeah,
we do. Don't think Pep does.
He's a mank and he understands what's going on.
Pep doesn't even class the derby as the biggest game of the season, if we all remember.
Oh, no, he doesn't. But that's usually at the Etihad. Let's be fair. When we all want it to win, when we all want to win,
Before I jet off.
Yeah, you have to bounce in a minute, don't you, mate?
Yeah. I think for energy, for attack on offense and defense, I'm having a hard time not seeing Foden there instead of Grealish. I think Grealish just doesn't bring that energy level yet. I think he can, but he hasn't done it consistently. And I know Foden hasn't had the greatest form, but I would say Foden, Haaland, and Mahrez. Mahrez is going to give that. He's going to.
That's a strong possibility. That's a strong possibility.
Yeah, and he's going to provide that width. Mahrez can provide that width. No matter what ball gets sent his way, he's going to control it, and he looks to be in attack mode. So I'm cool with that. But yeah, my only hesitation is between Foden and Grealish. But those of you watching this right now, smash that like button before I go, and continue to comment. Amazing show again, Ozzy, Rich, Adam, Alan, Martin. Thanks for having me on. And yeah. We are. Is there anything happening on Saturday? we doing anything Saturday?
Yeah,
Beforehand,
watch
before.
along.
I've decided out of my own little wisdom that I've promised it because I've said I would do a watch along for this one.
Oh no.
Okay, all right.
Only because
no.
of my own sanity. I want to watch it with Blues. I can't do it on my own. I will lose my rag if I do it on my own. If I do it on stream, I'll be able to keep my levels. If I'm on my own, the cat, the window, they're all going getting it. The cat will end up through the window. So I'm best to do the stream to keep me calm.
Are you going to do it in the car? Are you going to do it in the car because you can't watch because you're so nervous? But when it was 10 minutes to go with 2-1 in front, you're driving around the block like this. Ding, 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 ding.
Well, I will be one of the views 100%.
Hey, if you ever want to jump on during the watch along, Vader, come and join in.
Hey, I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. I'm
gonna get Rich on in the middle of the night at one point.
Well, I'll be in the Imperial in Melbourne, and I'll just on Spring and Burke Street. That's where I'll be.
I'm not bringing you in the bloody watch along. Jesus Christ!
Well, I'll be in the pub, mate. I'll be in the pub. So
6-0 down. What's going on?
Alan,
you know what? You should have a little segment.
It's been rebranded. The Imperial's not called the Imperial anymore. It's called the General.
The General.
The General. You'll be in the General at 11:30.
Go and give Beta Games TV a lot of love. The guy's a legend. Go and give it a lot of love. Honestly.
Well, just let you know that Fulham have beaten Chelsea 2-1. So that should be good fun for
Adam, are you still there, mate?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. I'm going to start with you. I don't want to do score predictions. What is your head saying right now? I don't want the heart, because asking hearts on derbies are silly. Yeah. Do you expect a reaction on Saturday lunchtime?
Absolutely.
You just think we'll win? If I had to put you on the spot now and go, win, lose, or draw, don't need to give me any score predictions.
I'm going to say win.
Jose, remember, this is your head. Don't want your heart. Don't think of it from a derby heart thing now. Head.
My head is still telling me that City are going to come out and win the game. I do believe that. It's not just my heart. This is my head. This is, yes, United are in a good run of form, but I still believe, even though they've got a better manager than they've had since Ferguson, they are still nowhere near the level of City. And I think if City play like City can, then I have no doubt that City will smash them.
Alan, I'm very scared of what's going to. Oh, hello. What's up with you?
I think we'll win.
You had a book's face?
Because we need to win.
Alec Johnson, there's a storm coming. I like that. A bit of confidence. Rich.
We will win and we will really control the game.
Sachin, our resident red, has gone 2-2. Jack Lee said 4-0 to United. Well, 4 to United and 0 to the Mercenaries.
That's a surprise from Jack, isn't it? Negative.
Head and Heart says United 9-0.
If it's that, I will hang myself.
Jesus Christ, that one.
Yeah.
2-2 draw. City will win. Think it might be a draw. Sean Fogarty, bruv, what exactly? I'm a bit taken aback. The Butcher will keep Haaland quiet again. Is it me or am I the only one who gets that sarcastic comment that rolled out? Yeah.
The last time I remember that rat, aka the Butcher, got bullied by Haaland.
That's what he means.
So
Adam. He's saying it in jest, like, yeah.
So I don't see how that rat is a butcher when he got bullied.
Well, he is a butcher because he kind of was covered in blood by the end of the game, but it was his own. Anyway, I genuinely think City will beat them, and I think we'll beat them quite convincingly. I honestly think City are going to come out like a wounded animal on Saturday. That doesn't mean everything's then rosy again in the garden. Again, as much as we're not in a crisis, let's not go back the other way and go, oh, we've got the best team in Europe again because we beat, it doesn't work like that. Yes, we know there is work that needs doing. This is a work in progress at the moment. We are in transition. We have a number 9 that is getting used to us. We're getting used to them. We have got an aging squad. Some players have come to the end of their time at Manchester City. But the one thing I can guarantee you is we have a manager that has earned our respect to be allowed to complete this transition. Pep has done enough to be allowed to go again in the summer. We have spent enough money. We will go again in the summer. We don't want to do a Chelsea where we're dropping 200 million every window because, it doesn't work that way. We've still got UEFA regulations to think of. So you've still got to be careful with it. But the one thing for me, Pep deserves that time and that respect. He's earned that. Man, as much as players can have wobbles, managers are allowed a wobble. Pep may be sat there going, there's nothing I can do at this point. Some of the players don't want it. But trust me, they'll be on the exit door come the summer.
And mine, it's not the only derby at the weekend. A certain Arsenal have got their own derby at the weekend against Spurs. Now, I know Spurs aren't particularly playing well, but it's a derby. Just like
Is it
our
White Hart
derby.
Lane? Is it White Hart Lane?
I believe it is.
Oh, good. Come on, Spurs. Yeah.
That's a good point by Neil Anstott. United couldn't beat us 9-0 when we were shit. So they ain't got no chance of doing it now when we're actually decent.
And that was when they were good.
Yeah, they only beat us 5-0. I was at that one as well. When Mark Hughes and Andrei Kanchelskis was a bit of a wanker.
Well, another fact as well, United have actually not beaten us in the league since 2020. So,
hey, look at this for a stat, lads. Haaland's not scored for 3 hours. Could Haaland go 3 games and not bag?
Haaland is going to be really up for this game. He really is going to be up for this game. I can see him firing on all cylinders. And I could see him getting a hat-trick, in all honesty, because I just think he's going to have that much drive to get out on that pitch.
Just, by the way, have you seen this? I do know this Modric is coming in. Have you seen the wages he's coming in on that?
It is absolutely criminal. Criminal.
37,000 a week he's going to come in on.
Who's this?
This Modric Arsenal signing. They're only giving him
That
30.
Ukrainian kid.
Just that's, I don't know. Arsenal are going to go with that one. Cheeky and Soriano have let this happen. What happened? They've spent money. You've got the world's best striker, Jack Lee. Well, I don't know what you want, mate. There was no one available in the summer. Who did you want? Not just going to grab any left back. Did you want to pay 65 million for Cucurella?
No, it's not worth 30, mate.
I still would have liked them to get Theo Hernandez from AC Milan. I mean, that's...
Well, that would have been 80, 90 million.
Oh, no, but I mean, he's a proven international. He did really well at the World Cup. He's done really well for AC Milan, and he's a proper left back that I think would fit in at City. And yes, he's going to cost, but actually, I think he's only got a few years left on his contract. So, you could probably get him for 50, 60.
Jack, I'm certainly fine, mate. You want to look over his shoulder, but on here, we're looking at Arsenal. We ain't looking over our shoulder.
I think it's not Jack Lee. I haven't seen such a surrenderer mentality since the French in World War II. I think it's I thought you were bad, Alan, but it's gone to new levels. So, I mean, why don't we just, basically give up? Why don't we just close the club down, get relegated, and just give up? Because, we're obviously absolutely terrible. We're going to lose to everyone. There's not a single player at the club who's any good. Rubbish manager.
We're on 39. We're on 39 points, mate. So let's give up now. We could just about get relegated.
Can't we just offer to give up our place in the Premier League to Bury or something? A team who've got much better players and everything than us. I mean,
no,
Rich is on one tonight, isn't it?
I'm from Bury, just because you're from North Wales. Right?
Anyway, when I say only 37k, I'm talking about a team that are about to drop 70 million on a player. You don't generally see them only getting 37k a week when you drop 37,000. Point I'm making is Arsenal.
Never believe anything. All of that's confidential information that's just been leaked for a purpose, and it's probably not even true.
Behave you. Some I want to go with. Behave you out down in the corner. How do you know about Bellingham then?
It's probably
that's confidential information, and
the 37k, the 37k that they're paying him is probably like the 300k we're paying Erling Haaland. Probably about as true as that.
Oh, can I just say this Ferland Mendy shit that's come out? Manchester City are not going to spend 60 million quid on Ferland Mendy. If he ain't good enough for Real Madrid, he ain't good enough for Manchester City. Can we get this? Ferland, they're not going to drop 60 million quid on him. They're not.
It's not going to.
They're just not.
You know what it is, Martin?
It's his agent trying to get him a better deal.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that a lot of people don't understand that. That's the tactic that these players use. That look, I'm linked to this club and XYZ. They're offering me this and this and this amount. Yeah. Are you gonna match it or not? So in a sense, it's like playing chess where you don't want your opponent to know your move. That's what Ferland Mendy is doing in a sense.
Yeah, listen, say you've been linked with this Moroccan fella. City, when there is a player who's trying to get a move, throw City's name in the hat. It's a good little tidbit to get out. Throw the name in the hat. City just get rid of when Nate, City being linked with Neymar. No. City, as far as I'm aware, and everyone's been aware, they've talked about Gabardi or they've talked about Bellingham. They're the ones they're looking at. If they come off, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But they're the ones. I mean, it is. Anyway, boys, I think we'll leave it there because we've been going 2 hours. Yeah, lively. I know we went through a lot. I know we've had a bit of a bitch and a moan, but I think it's about just trying to keep everyone to remain calm. And remember that we are second. I know it's derby week. I know it's hard, but we are second. Top goal scorers. We're just having a bit of a sticky spot. We've only played 17 games. We're not even at the halfway mark. Not even at the halfway mark. If history has taught us anything, City come good in February, March. Let's come back and reassess this in March, April time.
You know what it is, Martin? We need to. Those people need to calm down because they could hypothetically be a scenario where, we win that game on Saturday against United, and then Arsenal go into that game against Tottenham, shit in their pants because they know, we can't afford to fuck up because if we fuck up and drop a point or even lose the game 3 points, we have to play United next week. So, and City are playing Tottenham. So if City beat Tottenham, and they win, they're above us. So in a sense, it's like the mind game of that. If we get that 3 points against United, they go into that Tottenham game having that mindset of we can't afford to fuck up.
I think if we go in the mentality of it's first or nothing, then you are going to always be disappointed because City won't be first every season. That's just not. They're not going to win the league for the next 20 years. So you're going to have to get used to things changing a little bit. This might help us. If we go third or fourth for a season or second, fine. We go again in the summer. But I just remember there's an old saying: if you can't support us when we win, if you can't support us when we're losing, why are you here when we're winning? Shouldn't be about trophies if buts and maybes. We're different. We're not Barcelona. We're not Real Madrid. We're not United. We're not Liverpool. Was it with City fans are stupid, passionate idiots who just watch the grass grow, drive around the Etihad at night with a Starbucks. You know what I mean? Should get sponsored for it.
And they built a
This is
Starbucks
who we
right
are.
next to us as well.
No, but this is who we are. We're idiots.
Never win.
We'll beat United. Come on. But then it doesn't mean that everything's rose, like I said, rosy in the garden and with the bloody best team in the world and all the land. Let's just see. You never know. They've been talking a lot about the Champions League. Ozzy may get his dream when we land in Istanbul and with no big ears. And then Ozzy's happy bunny. Anyway, Adam, thank you. Go and catch Adam. Twitter streams. You can see her there at Manchester Blue, BLU. No E on the end. When's the next Twitter stream, Adam?
He's gone.
I think.
He's on mute. He's on mute. Adam, come off mute.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Tell everyone when your next Twitter stream is, mate.
There's one tomorrow at 3, so we'll be looking at the press conference as well, and also just what our ideal lineup and all of that, and what you think of the game and potentially what the outcome could be.
Oswald. He's even getting his Sunday name today. Thank you for joining us, mate. You're a legend. Lovely to be back.
Yeah, good to be back, mate. Thanks.
Are you coming on Saturday night? Are you available? I'll ask now. I'll get in now while I got him.
Well, you were saying you wanted to do it either after the game if we win, or if we lose, then it would be later. So you have to make your mind up.
Well, text me later when you're available because we're going to win, so we'll do it a bit. I'm thinking of yous. We'll get more people on later on in the evening. Plus, we can get Rich in. Rich, if we do it later in the evening, can you pop on?
No. I'm not coming on at 5 in the morning or something. Or are you talking about doing it like
later in the evening? It doesn't. Nobody listens.
Yeah,
Sunday morning our time.
I said I'm fine to do like 9 p.m. or something.
Come on, Rich fancies it. Rich, we only get. I want a Rich rant about beating the Rags. Come on, we're all having it.
His dog's up for it. I know that much.
Yeah, his
dog's well up for it. Alan,
yeah,
I'll be up for say early morning our time, so night time your time.
Right. Me and Rich have a little request. Don't WhatsApp us during the derby, please. Thanks very much.
I don't usually WhatsApp Rich. It's usually just you, mate. You know that.
Oh, see, it's just me. Anyway, absolute legends, each and every one of you. I know you're barman. I know you're going mad. Just relax. It's Manchester City. Embrace the rabbit.
Have you bought one of have you been out and bought one of those new tops? You have, haven't you?
No, I haven't. My missus has.
Don't give me that bullshit. You went out straight down the souvenir shop, didn't you? As soon as that was out, you were straight down that souvenir shop.
Ain't sold out.
Dear me, you're unbelievable. They will see you coming. Let's get some new shirts out. Martin will be down first.
My lovely, gorgeous wife has treated me as a late Christmas present.
I bet she has. Yeah.
Year of the rabbit. So.
Do you know what? He was driving to Starbucks. That's what it was. And he was driving.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Mingy Wong. Thank you, mate. Rob, Rich's dog cares more than KDB.
Is it cold there, Rich? You've got a tracksuit top on. It's bloody boiling here.
Anyway, take care, ladies and gents. We'll see you all. Come and join us 12 p.m. Saturday. The Manchester Derby watch along. You don't have to deal with Sky TV and the biasness. Come and listen.
It's going to be a hot day. It's going to be in the 40 degrees day on Saturday as well here. So it's going to be.
Come and join us live on Saturday, 12 p.m. You will have a blast. Take care. 12 p.m. Watch along. Forget the biasness. Come and watch us. Take care. Thank you. Come on, sitter. Now, where's the outro button? There it is. Bye.